Hey, welcome into the Tommy Watson Coaches Show here at Fox's Pizza in Pine Mountain. A good crowd up here. Here at Fox's Pizza is every Tuesday, 7 o'clock. We're in here. I'd like to thank Rick Knight at State Farm and Harris County Sheriff Mike Jolly getting us up here. We're here with Coach Watson. Coach, rough night. Last weekend, obviously on Friday night, 42-0 thumping, just say what it was. Against a good Troup County team. Coach Glisson coaching the boys up pretty good. They had 42 on Villa Rica the week before. They was clicking. But what do you say, coming after something like that happened and you come here? Now, what was your message to the team Friday night?
It really goes back to last Monday, the first day of practice for Troup County, so to speak, man, we had a terrible, terrible practice all last week. And Nolan will be up here in a minute. He'll probably say the same thing. But after we beat Manchester, it was almost like we was kind of smelling of ourselves a little bit and thought we was a little bit better than we was. But, the message to the kids all week, and I told them again Friday night, we circled up in the locker room before the game. We interlocked arms, and the goal was to don't worry about Troup County. Let's work on Harris County.
Right.
I think everybody in Harris County, if they don't know by now, they should know that we're a super young football team, that we have a lot of room for growth. We played against Troup County, we played 5 sophomores on offense all night, and on defense there was probably 6 kids out there that had never played in a game when it counted. So just got a young team, but the message was that's not acceptable.
Right.
42-0 is not acceptable for us. Felt like the game could have. I ain't gonna say should have. The game could have very easily ended maybe 28-10, 35-17, something like that. But bottom line is we didn't show up to play. We had some adversity in the first half with a block punt and scooping score. But the one thing I look at the positive from it, 3 things. Number 1, nobody got hurt. Number 2, we got some really good conditioning in. And number 3 is the kids didn't quit. We could have very easily laid down at halftime and said, it's 21-0. We don't have a chance. But they come out and they kept fighting. They kept playing for us. And I thought over the course of the second half, especially from an offensive standpoint, we showed that we can do some things in the passing game, and we can protect when somebody wants to blitz everybody. But overall, it was an old-fashioned butt whooping and not something that I'm proud of.
Yeah, it was rough, but like you said, the offense moved the ball. Y'all got it, inside the red zone a couple times, and there was rarely went 3 and out. I mean, the ball was moving. You had some plays that you didn't hit them, but they were there. You had some opportunities, and if you're watching at home, you think the best 2 seasons that Harris County's ever had, adversity. We went up to Troup your second year, got thumped that one too, 31-7, went to the quarterfinal, and the other year Harris County went to the quarterfinal. They lost the first 4 games of the season.
Oh, I didn't know.
You started the season 0-4.
Yeah.
Then you end up finding yourself in the quarterfinals by win out the rest of the season, then you got hot in the playoffs. So it's never your season's not made after one game,
sure.
especially when it's non-region, and you still got a couple more non-region games this weekend. Back on the road.
Yep.
Go back, trying to be some road warriors. Got to go down to Columbus. Got to go the other direction to play a good Carver team at Otis Spencer Stadium. Down there, I know a lot of people. We haven't had the opportunity to play there, so it's you got to change quick. You only got 7 days turnaround. So this week, how's the boys been looking this week?
We had a really good old school physical practice yesterday, and today was probably the best football practice we've had all year. It was very competitive. It was very physical. And we went back as a coaching staff and looked at how we was practicing and X, Y, Z. Anytime you get beat that bad, you evaluate everything from the coaches to the players to everything in the organization. And we made some changes, and the players actually act like they wanted, enjoyed it, like being there, like being competitive. So, but make no mistake about it. Last thing I told the kids when I left them before I came up here was, look, leave your feelings at the door. When you open that door, when you shut that car door, whatever's going on in your life, leave it there, because I'm not going to bring my feelings up here to you. And so hopefully we can continue to grow. But I still think we have a lot of potential on this team. But make no mistake about it, it don't get no easier this week.
No. It's defending state champ was Carver, and last year we talked about it before. How many times they mentioned Harris County during that state championship?
No doubt.
We were the only team that beat them last season, so you feel good with that. What it could mean to your team to win that game, especially as young as you are. And I mentioned to you before watching the JV and the freshman game last week. you can see it's there.
Yeah.
And the guys are playing the JV. You see them out there on Friday night, so the talent's there. But Coach, we're about to get out of here now. What do you say to the people that's going to make the trip this week, going down to Columbus, and pitch to them why they need to come down there and try to support these boys?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, these guys have been working since January. Don't judge them on one game. Don't judge them after what happens now. This football team is a work in progress, and I promise you, they got the best interest for Harris County school system, and they got the best interest for Harris County football, and they will make it right. I don't know what's going to happen Friday, but I can guarantee you will see a team flying around playing more hard and more physical than they played against Troup County.
And that's all you can ask for out
Yes,
of the boys.
indeed.
So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Nolan Johnson right here on the Tommy Watson Coaches Show.
Here they come! More big transport trucks full of new GMC trucks and SUVs to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of the best-selling full-size GMC Sierras, discounted up to $12,750 off. New GMC Terrains with a fresh design, a spacious interior, and safety features, discounted up to $4,000 off MSRP. Plus, enjoy no payments until November at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Real recognize real. Real taste, unmistakably Sprite. Real refreshment, crisp lemon lime. Sprite, obey your thirst.
And welcome back to the Tommy Watson Coaches Show. Rick Beach with you. Now we got Nolan Johnson. He was Defense Player of the Week. You and Liam Colley, y'all had a defense played some really good ball. I know there's a couple big plays that seemed to come back, but let's go back to that first drive that Troup had to get the midfield, big third down, and Carter comes in there and gets the sack. What was the emotion and feelings like after that play?
I was just glad to get off the field, man. That tempo they were running, they came out there to play.
Yeah.
We just had I'm glad Carter came in there with that play to get us off the field quick.
How hard is that to prepare for something like the tempo that Troup goes? How hard is that to really prepare for?
It's hard to prepare for it because they the only one who can run it as hard as they can.
Yeah. And so, we mentioned the game. It got, it was ugly at the end. There wasn't no way to go around it. You took one off the chin as a team. But when you go to Coach Watson, I remember you probably 8th, 9th grade that year. We went to Elite 8. I remember after the game, the team huddled up on the field, and there's still a sense of, okay, we got beat by 24 then, but it's like, hey, we can still see, good silver linings in the season. What was the feeling like as a player when y'all went in that locker room after the game?
It was you talking about after the game that we lost?
Yeah.
It was bad. We wasn't prepared that week.
Yeah.
We had terrible practice every day. Everybody was playing, just goofing around. We got to get right. We had to get right.
So you have that sense, how practice went all week, and now you see a bad practice, what that leads to on a Friday night. And does that kind of change some of the team's mentality, like this week during practice?
Yeah, it really hit a switch. Yeah, that good old whipping they gave us. They really hit a switch. Everybody was being real physical, moving around, getting to the ball. It was a great practice today.
Well, enough about Friday night. We ain't got to talk about Troup anymore. Let's talk about us. Let's talk about here in the county. Playing for Harris County.
Yes, sir.
There's a sense of pride that players talk about. Explain to people what that feels like when you grow up and then you get to wear that black and gold on a Friday night.
It feels great because I always wanted to play for Harris County as a kid. Because I remember playing in Little League. I used to see my cousin go out there and play Tyleek Williams.
Oh, yeah.
I used to be so inspired. He used to give me chills on Friday night. Yeah.
So now it's fun. And tell people, what's it like, Coach Watson just come off camera here, but playing for Coach Watson and what he means to the players.
Oh, yeah. He's a real great guy, and he teaches me a lot. It's like growing as a man. Like, he teaches you how to be a real man, how life do you and treats you, how everything. He just prepares you for life, and I love him for that.
And then let's talk about your position at linebacker in this senior class. Not a lot of seniors on the team, but it seems linebackers where everybody where the seniors were. You, Carter, and Kingston. What's y'all's relationship kind of? because I'm saying when I come in there and I see y'all always around each other and having a good time, and then y'all work hard together and push one another. So what's that relationship like between you, Carter, and Kingston?
It's real brotherhood because we always grew up around each other. And that, you know, that 9th grade year we came in, that when we all just came together because we used to always be around each other. Yeah, it's real brotherhood.
That's awesome. So this week we go down to Columbus.
sir.
I know we're excited about that. Anytime you get to play, you know, these rivalry, these, you know, if it's not a rivalry, just they border the county, so you kind of feel like it's you're territorial over it.
Yeah.
Manchester was, you know, having that game come back, and you know, get to go down to Otis Spencer, which I mentioned we haven't played in a new stadium. It's pretty going to be nice for that. So that's this Friday. So that's Nolan Johnson. We'll be right back to wrap it up here on the Tommy Watson Coaches Show.
Here they come! More big transport trucks full of new GMC trucks and SUVs to Glenn Smith and Opelika. Choose from a huge selection of the best-selling full-size GMC Sierras, discounted up to $12,750 off. New GMC Terrains with a fresh design, a spacious interior, and safety features, discounted up to $4,000 off MSRP. Plus, enjoy no payments until November at Glenn Smith GMC in Opelika. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
And welcome back. We're about to get out of here. Appreciate everybody checking us out this week. Don't forget, Friday, 7:30, Otis Spencer Stadium. We're coming down there. It's going to be a big matchup. Going to be a huge crowd expected down there. We mentioned it was the only loss that Carver had last year. They went on to win state. We're coming down there. It's going to be a big matchup. Going to be a huge crowd expected down there. We mentioned it was the only loss that Carver had last year. They went on to win state. A different environment down there. New coach. They got Jarvis Jones, former Carver linebacker. Then he played at University of Georgia. Played at Pittsburgh Steelers. Supports Live Harris County. But for Coach Watson, it's 7 o'clock. That's right. Muskogee County kicks off at 7 o'clock. You know, we do the 7:30.